You wake up in the morning and your face feels puffy. You're getting up repeatedly during the night to urinate. Your body feels tired all the time, or sometimes there's a strange heaviness in your lower back. If this sounds familiar, it's possible that your body is giving you a warning that most people simply don't recognize in time, because kidneys don't fail suddenly. They weaken silently, gradually, over the course of years. And what's the most dangerous part? Most people don't find out they have kidney disease until the damage has already progressed significantly. In the beginning, there's no severe pain, no major discomfort, just small signals that the body starts sending. But people keep ignoring them, dismissing them as ordinary fatigue, weakness, stress, or just getting older. That's why kidney disease is often called a silent disease, because by the time a person understands the reality, in many cases, it's already too late. But here's the good news. Our bodies do give warnings before things go wrong. We just need to recognize these signs in time. And in today's video, we're going to talk about exactly these 5 important warning signs that the body often starts giving before the kidneys become damaged. We'll also understand what the kidneys actually do in the body, why kidney damage progresses silently, and what daily habits gradually put pressure on the kidneys. Because the reality is our bodies are always sending signals. But the problem is most people only take these signals seriously when the damage has already progressed significantly. And that's exactly why kidney problems are rising much faster today than before, especially among people who frequently eat out, drink too little water, stay up late at night, or ignore their blood pressure and blood sugar. But does the body really give warnings before kidneys fail? Yes, absolutely. And in many cases, these signs are visible every single day. People just don't pay attention to them. So let's go through one by one those 5 important signs that the body may start giving before kidney damage sets in. Now, the question is, why are the kidneys so important? Most people think the kidneys just make urine, but the reality is far bigger than that. Inside your body, 2 small organs are quietly working day and night to filter your blood. Those are your kidneys. And here's the surprising part. Every few minutes, your entire volume of blood passes through the kidneys to be filtered. That means any waste, toxins, excess water, or harmful substances that build up in your body. The kidneys are responsible for cleaning them out. It's exactly like the water filter in your home that cleans dirty water. But just imagine, if that filter slowly starts to clog, what happens? The water begins to get dirty. Exactly the same thing happens inside the body. When the kidneys start to weaken, toxins gradually begin to accumulate in the body. And those toxins can later cause fatigue, swelling, high blood pressure, and a number of serious problems. But the kidneys don't just remove toxins, they also maintain the body's fluid balance, meaning they decide how much water to keep in the body and how much to flush out. That's why when the kidneys aren't working properly, many people start noticing swelling in their face, hands, or feet. In addition, the kidneys maintain the balance of important minerals like sodium, potassium, and calcium, minerals that are critical for the heart, muscles, nerves, and blood pressure. Now just think, if this filtering system in the body starts to weaken, over time, the entire body can be affected. And what's the most dangerous part? The kidneys can remain silently damaged for a long time without any severe pain. That's why most people don't recognize the early warning signs. And that's exactly why doctors often say that early detection of kidney disease is so critical, because if attention is paid in time, lifestyle changes can help bring significant improvement. But this is where the problem begins. The first warning the body gives, most people dismiss it as ordinary tiredness or weakness, and that is the first sign. The first sign of weakening kidneys often shows up in the morning. Waking up with a puffy face, especially puffiness under the eyes, can be a signal that most people don't take seriously. Often people think maybe I didn't get enough sleep, maybe I'm tired, or maybe I ate too much salt. But in many cases, the real reason behind this could be increasing pressure on the kidneys. You see, when the kidneys can't maintain fluid balance properly, the body starts struggling to remove excess water. That extra fluid gradually begins to collect in the body, especially in the face, eyes, hands, or feet. That's why many people feel like their face looks swollen when they wake up. And if this keeps happening repeatedly, it shouldn't be ignored. especially if it's accompanied by fatigue, high blood pressure, or changes in urination. Because in many cases, the body starts giving multiple signals at once, and that's the point where a person should start paying attention to their health. But it's not just swelling. The second common sign of weakening kidneys can be frequent urination at night, especially if a person starts going to the bathroom 2, 3, or more times during the night. Now, it's very important to understand something here. Not every case of frequent urination means kidney disease. Sometimes it can be caused by drinking too much water, diabetes, or certain medications. But if this problem keeps happening repeatedly, the body may be signaling that the kidneys aren't filtering as efficiently as they used to. See, at night, the body is in a state of rest. But when the kidneys start to become stressed, fluid balance can begin to get disturbed. And that's exactly why you start getting up frequently at night to urinate. Many people dismiss this as a minor issue and keep ignoring it. But the reality is, the body often starts sending small signals before illness sets in. People just don't understand them. And what's the most dangerous thing? Most people start paying attention when symptoms have already progressed significantly. But the next sign we're going to talk about is perhaps one of the most common signs of kidney stress. And the surprising thing is, people dismiss it as ordinary weakness and ignore it for years. The third important sign of weakening kidneys can be feeling tired all the time, the kind of tiredness that doesn't go away even after resting. Waking up with a heavy body, not feeling like doing anything, or feeling low on energy all the time. This might not just be because of a busy lifestyle. In many cases, the real issue behind it is the buildup of toxins in the body. You see, when the kidneys can't properly filter the blood, waste products in the body gradually start to accumulate. And these toxins begin to tire the body from the inside, exactly like if a city's waste is being produced daily, but the cleanup system gradually weakens. At first, you might not notice the difference, but over time, the garbage starts piling up. Exactly the same thing happens inside the body. And that's why many people feel tired all the time, even when they're not doing any heavy physical work. In some cases, kidney weakening can also affect the oxygen balance in the blood, which can make the body feel even weaker. But the problem is, most people don't take this sign seriously. They think maybe they didn't get enough sleep, maybe they're stressed, or maybe it's just age. And this is how months, sometimes years, go by. But the body keeps sending internal signals. Now let's talk about the fourth important sign, one that people often ignore, but in many cases it can be a clear warning of kidney stress, and that is foamy urine. If it happens once in a while, it doesn't necessarily mean there's a serious problem, but if you keep noticing a lot of foam or froth in your urine repeatedly, it might be important to pay attention, because in many cases, this can indicate that the kidneys aren't properly filtering proteins the way they used to. In simple terms, inside the kidneys, there are tiny filters that keep essential substances in the body and push waste out. But when this filtering system starts to weaken, some useful proteins can also start to leak out. And this often shows up in the form of foamy urine in many people. But it's important to understand one thing here. You shouldn't jump to conclusions based on just one sign alone. The real thing to watch is what combination of signals the body is repeatedly giving, because often illness doesn't appear through just one symptom, but through a combination of several small signs. And now the next sign, perhaps one of the most ignored signs of all. But in many people, this can also be an important signal of kidney stress. The fifth important sign of weakening kidneys can be persistent heaviness, pain, or an unusual discomfort in the lower back, especially if this discomfort keeps recurring and the body is also giving other signals. Now, it's very important to understand something here. Not every back pain means kidney problems. Sometimes it can be muscle strain, poor posture, or sitting for too long. But in many cases, increasing pressure on the kidneys or inflammation in the body can start to manifest as heaviness in the lower back. And the problem is, people often take painkillers for temporary relief without trying to understand the real cause. And here's the surprising thing. Frequent use of painkillers can itself increase pressure on the kidneys over time. That's why experts often advise avoiding unnecessary painkillers. But now the real question is, why do kidneys actually start to fail? What daily habits gradually weaken the kidneys? Look, kidneys don't fail in a single day. This damage is often the result of years of small, everyday mistakes. And among them, the most common thing is drinking too little water. When the body doesn't get enough water, the kidneys have to work harder to filter waste, especially in people who drink tea, cold drinks, or sugary beverages all day, but very little plain water. The second big reason is excess salt and processed foods. Nowadays, most packaged foods, chips, fast food, instant meals, and sauces contain very high amounts of sodium. And excess sodium can raise blood pressure and put extra pressure on the kidneys. That's exactly why high blood pressure is considered one of the major causes of kidney damage. In addition, consistently high blood sugar can also be dangerous for the kidneys, especially in people with diabetes, where the tiny filters in the kidneys can gradually start to get damaged, often without any visible symptoms in the early stages. That's why doctors repeatedly emphasize not to ignore blood sugar and blood pressure. But it's not just these things. Staying up late at night, not exercising, eating junk food frequently, and obesity can also increase pressure on the kidneys. And what's the most dangerous part? Most people do all of these things daily without realizing that their body is going into internal stress. But the good news is our bodies have the ability to repair themselves, especially if habits are changed in time. And that's why the next part is the most important, because now we'll talk about those simple daily habits that can genuinely help keep the kidneys healthy. But now the question is, if the body is giving warning signs, how can we prevent further kidney damage? And can some simple daily habits really support kidney health? Yes, small changes can make a big difference over time. And the very first thing is water. But even here, there's a common mistake. Many people drink very little water throughout the day and then suddenly start drinking a lot at once. It's actually better to drink small amounts of water throughout the day because proper hydration helps the kidneys filter waste, especially in summer, after exercise, or when you're sweating a lot. The body may need even more water, but water alone isn't enough. The second important thing is reducing salt. Nowadays, most people are consuming far more sodium than they need. Excess salt can raise blood pressure and also put unnecessary pressure on the kidneys. So try to reduce processed foods, packaged snacks, and overly salty items. The third important thing is controlling sugar, especially for those whose blood sugar is already borderline or who have a family history, because consistently high sugar can gradually damage the tiny filters in the kidneys. That's why diabetes is considered one of the leading causes of kidney disease worldwide. In addition, a little bit of daily physical activity is very important. You don't necessarily need to do intense exercise. Just 25 to 30 minutes of walking every day can help improve blood circulation and also help reduce overall body stress. Then there's sleep. Most people ignore sleep when talking about kidney health. But consistently poor sleep can increase body stress and, over time, affect blood pressure and metabolism. That's why getting proper sleep every day is also very important. And one very important thing, avoid taking unnecessary painkillers frequently. Many people take painkillers even for minor aches without thinking that long-term overuse can put pressure on the kidneys. That's why medications should always be taken only as needed and according to medical advice. Now let's talk about food. Certain foods can be helpful in supporting overall kidney health, like fresh vegetables, fruits, fiber-rich foods, and a balanced diet. People who constantly eat junk food, soft drinks, and oily foods may have higher chances of increased body inflammation. And this inflammation over time has been linked to many health problems. But here's the most important thing: consistency. Eating healthy for just one day won't make a difference. The real change happens when you start changing small daily habits. Because the reality is our bodies have the ability to repair themselves, but on the condition that we stop causing continuous damage. And that's why many people who change their lifestyle in time experience significant improvements in their health. But always remember one thing in the end: the body never breaks down suddenly. It gives signals first. The only thing needed is to understand them in time. So by now you probably understand that kidneys don't fail suddenly. The body starts giving warnings well in advance. The only problem is that most people don't take these signs seriously in time. Sometimes swelling is ignored, sometimes tiredness is dismissed as trivial, and sometimes frequent urination is just blamed on age. But the reality is the body is always sending signals. The only need is to recognize them in time. And the sooner a person starts paying attention to their health, the better the chances of preventing future problems. Because small daily habits are what gradually make the body healthy and also what gradually weaken it. So, drinking water in adequate amounts, cutting down on junk food, improving sleep, keeping blood pressure and sugar under control, these aren't just general pieces of advice. They are very important things for keeping the body healthy over the long term. And what's the best part? Our bodies have the ability to repair themselves, provided we pay attention in time and don't ignore the signals the body is giving. If you found today's video helpful, please do share it because this information might be important for someone else too. And for more simple and easy to understand health videos, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Take care of yourself and don't ignore your body's signals.